Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Government. And of course, today we're going to continue our study on the legislature, okay, on the arms of government, legislature. And we started in the last episode. So if you have not watched that last episode, please go and watch it. Today, we're going to be looking at members. We're going to be looking at hierarchy. And then we're going to look at, lastly, committees. Okay, of the legislative house, of the legislature in Nigeria. All right, so we're going to look at the members, okay, the hierarchy and the committees of the legislature or of the legislative house in Nigeria, okay? Do not forget that these tutorials, that these episodes, all of them, they are brought to you by the O3 schools to ensure your firm preparation and sure success in the examination, okay? If you have made a personal decision that I don't want to write JAMB twice, maybe I've written before, maybe I've written twice or three times before, but this last JAMB exam, okay? Why? Because I'm watching this video, okay? This JAMB exam I want to write, or this WAEC exam I want to write, I will not repeat it. Please go to Play Store, download the O3 Schools app, or go to App Store, download the O3 Schools app, or message this number on WhatsApp 0912151552, okay, to download the application on your laptop so that I can practice without distraction. Okay, I know what I'm telling you. Check out testimonies. You will see what I'm talking about. All right, so let us see a past question from the O3 Schools app. Okay, this is a JAMB past question relating to this 2018 number 30. It says that the standing committee of a legislature is one. A says whose members stand while they are deliberating. B says that has statutory responsibilities. C says that performs ad hoc functions. D says that has all legislators as members. Okay, so we'll come back to this question and many more at the end of the class, because we believe that the reason why you are not doing well in your exam because you have not been properly taught. That if you are properly taught, okay, answering questions will be the least of your problem. All right, that's why we employ you to download the O3 Schools application. The app has everything you need to study, okay, for your exam. All the past questions for all subjects are on the application under the practice for UTME, okay. And then also, there's also a classroom that has the latest JAMB syllabus, that has lecture notes structured according to that JAMB syllabus, that has video lessons that you can download and watch offline, that has flashcard that enables you to revise whatever you have studied. You can create a timetable or a study plan on the classroom feature, and then to help you to create a perfect timetable to finish your syllabus just in time. Okay, before you will say you are prepared for JAMB or WAEC, you must have at least finished your syllabus, if not once but twice. Okay, so please ensure that you download the app and get started immediately. Okay, you can also need to activate the application. There's also a mock exam, okay, on the application every Saturday. All right, make sure you participate so that you can gain confidence towards your examination. All right, there's an activation fee. Okay, just click on activate after you've downloaded. The next page that will open, you see where they wrote buy activation key. Click on it. Okay, you see the correct amount for activation. All right, so please do not be stingy to yourself. Do not be stingy to your future. All right, invest that activation fee. Pay for the activation. Get your app activated and pass your exam at once without worries. Okay, that's what we offer you, and that's what you get. Okay, so now let's begin without wasting much time. We know that the legislative house or the legislature is in charge of making laws, okay, all right, for enacting laws, for amending, okay, so that is their function. So in all the three tiers, or in the three tiers of government that we have, we have the federal government, we have the state government, we have the local government. These are the three tiers, okay, TIERS, three tiers of government that we have. Okay, so in each of these tiers, right, they have members of the legislature. Okay, they have the legislative house that makes laws for them. All right, so and they they have their functions, they have their roles. All right. So we're going to be looking at what members of the legislative house in the federal government, in the what state government, and in the local government. Okay. So let's begin quickly with the members of the legislative house in the federal government. You know that Nigeria, all right, is a federal state, okay, and so it operates what bicameral legislature. We saw that in the last class, okay, bicameral or legislature. So for that singular reason, it means that what it will have what two houses, okay, to have the upper house, okay, and then to have what the lower house. All right. So, and of course, we have seen last class in the last episode that the upper house is called the what? The Senate. While this lower house is one we call the House of Representatives. All right. So now, how do we get all these members? So in each state, okay, each state, we have how many states in Nigeria? We have 36 states. In what? In Nigeria, all right? So now, this is what happens. In each state, all right, in each of the geopolitical zones, okay? Like right now, I am from Edo State, okay? I'm from Edo State, and I'm from the Edo North, okay? I'm from Edo North in Edo State. Okay, so that's my geopolitical zone, all right, in the state. So in each of the geopolitical zone, that is what, when I mean geopolitical, I mean the North, the South, and then the Central. Okay, so if me that I'm from Edo State now, all right, Benin City is the South. Okay, Benin, all right, that is the South. Then the Central are the ones who call the Essence. Okay, mostly what the Essence, okay, and then what now have what the North, okay, Edo North, Akoko Edo, we have all those Auchi side, okay, all those ones that are what that Edo North. So each state is divided what into 3 geopolitical zones: the North, the South, and the Central. All right, we have 36 states in Nigeria. So each state, okay, elects a representative in the Senate. All right, so the North will bring out 1 representative, the South will bring out 1 representative, then the Central will bring out what 1 representative. So making what 3. So for each state we have what 3 representatives in the Senate. Okay, in the Senate. All right. So now, since each state has 3 representatives in the Senate, we have 36 states. That means in total, we're going to have how many what senators now in the National Assembly? Okay, you know that the joint section of both what this Senate and the House of Rep is what we call the National Assembly. Okay, so the joint section of the Senate and the House of Representatives, okay, is what's known as what? As the National what? Assembly. All right. So now that means that in the National Assembly, especially in the upper house, because that's our focus right now, all right, we're going to have what each state producing 3 senators. Since we have 36 states, the total number of senators will now be what? 36 states times what? 3. All right, and if you multiply 36 times 3, we're going to have 108. Okay, so now, but we remember in the last class I told you that we have 109 members. Okay, the reason why it is so is because Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Abuja, okay, also what produces just 1 senator. All right, so Federal Capital Territory Abuja produces 1 senator. So in addition to this 108. This one produces 1. In addition to this 108, now I have what plus 1. I'm going to have what 109. So we have a total of 109 senators, okay, in the what? In the upper house, okay? And how is this senators got in from each of the what? Geopolitical zones, they produce what? 1 in the state, okay? In each of the geopolitical zones in the state, they produce 1 senator each, okay? That's 36 states in Nigeria, we have 108. The FCT produces just 1, okay? So plus 1 gives you 109, all right? So these are what the ones we call the senators that are what? In the upper what? House. All together, all right? So now, that is for the upper house. Now, for the lower house, we did say that we have how many members of House of Representatives we have in the upper house. In the lower house, right, that we have 360, okay? So we have 360 members of the House of Representatives, okay, that are elected from what? From each of the constituencies was in the state, all right? And of course, depending on the population, okay, that's how members are gotten, okay? So now, since we have 360 members of the House of Representatives, we have 109 members of what? The Senate, okay? If you now add what? These two numbers together are going to have 360 plus 109, which will give you 400 and what now? 69 members total of the National Assembly. So in the National Assembly, we have what? A total of what? 469 members altogether. Okay, so that is basically that. So I don't want to go back. I'll go over it again because in the last class I threw some hints about this. All right. So it's just that today we are majorly focusing on it. That's why I'm talking about it. Okay. So no need to go back again. So that is that for the National Assembly. Total members of what? Total number of what? Members in the National Assembly is 469. Okay. So that is that for the federal what? Government. Okay. Now in the state. In the state government, okay, they also have what? Their what's it called? Their own legislative house. Okay. Remember that in the national or in the federal government, the Senate, okay, is headed by what? Is led or headed by the Senate president. Okay. So we have the Senate president leading the upper house. Okay, while in the lower house, we have what? The speaker, okay, is the head. Okay, so when we talk about hierarchy, okay, we're talking about members now. So when we talk about hierarchy next, we'll now talk about all of this, all right, and their functions. Very important. So now let us now see what's it called? The state government. State government. All right, so in the state government, okay, which is what this one is the second tier of what? Of government. Okay, now this second tier of government, they do not run they do not run a bicameral legislature. Okay, they run a unicameral legislature. Why? Because the state houses of assemblies, okay, has what they call just one house or what? One chamber. All right, so they do not operate on bicameral legislature, they operate on unicameral legislature. So please take note, okay? If I am an examiner, that is something I may ask you to confuse you, all right? So the state houses of assembly, all right, runs on unicameral legislature, all right? So each of the 36 states, all right, in Nigeria, all right, they have their own state house of assembly. They have their own state house of assembly that makes laws for them, all right? So that is for the state government, okay? And then they are called members of what? Of the state house of what? Of assembly. Okay, or members of what? Of the what? House of what? Of assembly, all right? So that is what they call them. And each state has about 24 to 40 members. Okay, from between 24 to 40 members of the House of of Assembly. Lagos State has 40. Okay, so depending on the population, all right, so it may afford for more honorables, okay, or members of the House of Assembly. Okay, so that is what the state government, right? So in each of the 36 states, they have a state House of Assembly, okay, which is headed by the speaker. Okay, speaker is headed by the speaker, okay? And like I said, they run on unicameral legislature because they only have one house. They only have one chamber, okay? So that is the state House of Assembly. Then now, let us now go to the third tier, which is the local government, okay? So in the local government, how many local government do we have in Nigeria? That should be something you should know, right from the days of your social studies. All right, so we have 774 local governments. Okay, this one is called the third tier. Okay, so we have 774 local governments in Nigeria. Okay, and each of these local governments, right, they have their own legislative house. They have their own legislative house. Okay, and of course, depending on the number of wards, okay, wards. All right, you may hear that maybe during voting, okay, if you have voted before, all right, you see your voter's card, they will show you the ward you are from, all right, in your village, okay, or wherever you are voting, the ward you will go and vote. So and so ward 10, so and so ward 7, so and so ward 8, okay, so you will be seeing your ward there. So depending on your ward, each ward has what councillor. Okay, so that's what we call them. All right. So depending on the number of wards, okay, we have more number of councillors usually between 10 to 15. Okay, usually between 10 to 15. All right. So and the leader of this legislative house is called what? The leader. That's what they call him. Called the leader of the legislative house. Okay. All right, we call them what? The leaders of what? Leader, the head of what? Of the legislative house in the local government. Okay, it's called the leader of the legislative house. Okay, so now that is basically what that's for the third tier. Okay, these are the members. So in the Senate, 460. Sorry, in the National Assembly, 469 members. Okay, the state house, okay, usually from between 24 to 40 members because they operate on the unicameral legislature. Then local government from between 10 to 15. Okay, so let us go to the next part, which is what? Hierarchy in the legislative house. All right, so definitely we have leaders in the legislative house. Okay, we have some key positions. Okay, and then they have roles to play. Okay, in the Senate. Okay, sorry, in the legislative house. I'm using Senate. Okay, so they have roles. Each of these members, okay, which have portfolio, okay, in the House of Assembly, not House of Assembly. Sorry, I mean in the National Assembly. Okay, we're looking at the upper house first of all. Okay, so there's some key position. All right, so let us see hierarchy. Who's senior who? Okay, who comes first? Who is the leader? Who comes second? And so on and so forth. Okay, so let us please see what hierarchy. Now, let's look at hierarchy in the legislative house. All right, so I've discovered that a lot of you do not support our videos. Okay, looking at hierarchy. You do not support our videos. You do not share our videos. You do not like. You do not comment. Okay, this is something that doesn't go well for us. Okay, so please, if you want to support this video, just click on that like button as you're watching right now. All right, other students will easily see the video if you like the video. Okay, drop your comment, copy the link, share to your friends and loved ones. All right, we're all preparing for an exam. All right, please ensure you like the video so that other people can easily succeed along. Okay, hierarchy. All right, so now what is the hierarchy, right, in the legislative house? Okay, let us start with the federal government. Okay, so in the federal government we have two tiers, isn't it? I said tiers, sorry. We have two chambers. So we have the upper chamber headed by the Senate. Okay, then we now have the lower, which is the House of Reps. Okay, you know what reps is, isn't it? Representatives. Okay, so now what is the hierarchy? Hierarchy shows what rank, okay, or level of authority from the highest to the lowest. That's what hierarchy means. Okay, this word hierarchy. Okay, talks about levels of authority. Okay, so from authority or rank. Okay, usually from the highest to the lowest. So in the upper house, let's talk about the upper house first. So in the upper house, we have the Senate, is the Senate house. And of course, the number one person in the upper house is the Senate president. Senate presido. Okay, so the Senate president is the highest officer in the upper house. Okay, so what does the Senate president do? Okay, is the one that heads meetings. Okay, is the one that heads meetings, is the one that maintains order, and also is the one that represents the Senate in official functions. Okay, so its responsibility is to lead meetings. Okay, to lead meetings. Okay, apart from leading meetings, he maintains order, and apart from maintaining order, he represents the Senate. Represents the Senate in official official functions. Okay, so that is the responsibility of the Senate President. Okay, so he leads meetings, he maintains order, and he represents the Senate in official function. After the Senate President, we now have the person we call the Deputy Senate President. Okay, the Deputy Senate President assists, okay, the Senate President, okay, in the discharge of his duties. Okay, so he assists the Senate President. Okay, and whenever the Senate President is not around, okay, he takes over. Okay, so he's in charge. Okay, in the absence of the Senate President. I want to get up. Okay, so after the Deputy Senate President, we now have the person we call the Majority Leader of the House. Okay, so we call that the Majority Leader. Okay, so the Majority Leader of the House is the leader of of the political party with the highest number of members. The leader of the political party with the highest number of members. Let's say, for example, in the Senate, in the Senate we have 109 members. Okay, let's say 80 are APC. Okay, let's say 10. Okay, let me not say 10. Okay, let's say 10 are PDP. Let's say 2 is APGA. Okay, let's say 1 is Labour. Okay, how many do you have here? 80, 10, 90, 92. Okay, 93. Okay, let us say, okay, let me say 5 are Labour. Okay, this is 90, 97. Let's say what other parties you have? Let's say ADC. Okay, ADC has 3. All right. Then let us now say remaining 9. Okay, let's say APGA has remaining 9. APGA has, let's say, how many did I put here before? Okay, so this is 90, 10. Okay, definitely. Just my idea here is that we have 109 senators and they are from different parties. Okay, this is the idea of majority leader. Okay, we have 109 members of the Senate and they are from different parties. Now, the leader, APC has the highest number of members. Okay, in the Senate House, in this example. All right, in this example, APC has the highest number. So the leader, okay, the leader of this party in the Senate is called the majority leader. Okay, the leader of this party with the highest number of members in the Senate is who we call the majority leader. Then we now have the minority leader also following up. Minority leader. Okay, so the leader of the main opposition. Okay, let's say APGA has 15. Let me add. This is 90. 90 plus 20 is 110. Okay, 110. That's far more. Okay, 110. We only need 109. Okay, so let me just say APGA has 9. Okay, APGA has 9. 90, 99. 99 plus 3, okay, is 102. 102 plus 5 is what? 107. Okay, so let me just say 5 here too, so that to balance. Okay, so now APGA has 9, PDP has 10. Okay, so the next party with the highest number of members is what? Is PDP, isn't it? So now the leader of the main opposition. Okay, now PDP has what? After APC in the Senate, PDP will have more voice because they are higher in number. Okay, although maybe let's say this number is even reduced to 50. Then maybe they are 50. Maybe this one is 30 or something like that. Okay, so the next party with the highest number of members is what? Is PDP. So PDP is the main opposition. Okay, so for that singular reason, PDP is what now? Is the main opposition, and so therefore the minority leader will be what? The leader of the main opposition in the Senate House. Okay, so that's who we call the minority leader. All right, so the majority leader is the leader of the political party with the highest number of members. Leader of the political party with the highest number of members. Okay, while the minority leader is the leader of the main opposition. Okay, in the what? In the Senate. All right, so that is who we call what? The minority leader. Then after the majority and the minority leader, we now have what? The chief whip. The chief whip. Okay, so the chief whip role is very, very important in the House. His function is to ensure party discipline. Okay, ensure party discipline. Okay, he ensures that leaders of the Senate, okay, or members of the Senate, all right, or the senators attend what? Meetings. Okay, they attend meetings and they vote. They vote according to party decisions. Okay, that is the function of what? Of the chief whip. Okay, he ensures what? Party discipline. Okay, he ensures that that senators attend sittings. Okay, their meetings is called sittings. Okay, and that they vote according to party decisions. Now, after the chief whip, we now have the deputy chief whip. And of course, his function or his role is not far-fetched. Okay, so he assists the chief whip in the discharge of of his duties to maintain order in the Senate. All right. So that is that in a what's it called? In the federal house, in the upper house. Okay, so in the Senate, that's what happens. These are the leaders. This is the hierarchy of leadership. All right, in the in the upper house, in the Senate house. The Senate president, the highest officer, followed by the deputy Senate president. Then we have the majority leader, we have the minority leader, we have the chief whip. Then we have the deputy chief whip. Okay, now somebody may say, what about the clerk of the house? Okay, so the clerk of the house is not a senator. Take note of that. Okay, it's a question that you will easily miss in the exam condition. Okay, so the clerk of the house is not a senator. He is a civil servant. Please take note of that. The clerk of the house is a civil servant. All right, he may be because of his experience. Okay, all right, in the legislature. All right, he's given that role. All right, so let us see his function. Let us see the clerk of the house. Clerk of the house. All right, so the clerk of of the house. All right, so like I said, the clerk of the house is not an elected member. Okay, it's not a senator. All right, in the Senate, it's not also a House of Representative member. Is not in the State Assembly, is not an honorable. He is not elected by the people. Is is appointed. Okay, to his function is to ensure that that the lawmakers are doing their job properly. Okay, that they are doing their job smoothly. That is the function of of the clerk. So the clerk is not is not elected. Please take note. All right, this is where an examiner can catch you waiting no good. Okay, so the clerk of the house is not elected. Please pause whatever you are doing now. Like this video. Okay, like this video, comment. Okay, copy the link, share to your class group, your friends and loved ones, please. Okay, so the clerk of the house is the top administrative officer in the in the house. Okay, is the top administrative officer in the legislature. Okay, administrative. Okay, so he's not elected. Okay, he's appointed. All right, he's appointed to ensure that the lawmakers are doing their work properly. Okay, so what does the clerk do? He keeps records. He keeps records. The clerk organizes meetings. So he makes sure that meetings go smoothly. All right. So all the procedural issues, okay, how members of the house should sit, all right, and so on and so forth. He organizes meetings. All right. Apart from organizing meetings, he advises the lawmakers. Advises the lawmakers. Okay, he's the one that read bills. He read bills. He reads bills and motions, okay? And then there are some other staff, okay, in the what? In the Senate or in the House of Reps, okay, or in the State House of Assembly or in the what? Or in the what local government what legislative what house, okay? So it supervises what all the staffs there, okay? So another function is what to supervise staffs, okay? All right. Also, it records proceedings, okay, because of what they may be needed, okay? So you have to keep proper record of what of proceeding, records proceedings, okay? In what is signs certificates, all right? Okay, it signs what certificates, it what conducts what oath taking, okay? So when new members come to the house, conducts oaths. Okay, so when new members come to the house, is one that conduct what the reading of oath of office to them. Okay, so these are what the function of the legislative of the clerk of the house. Okay, he is the top administrative officer, and he is not an elected what official. Okay, rather is what is appointed to ensure that that the house runs what smoothly, that the lawmakers are doing what they were sent to what to do there. All right. So now, please take note. Now, let us now see the House of Reps, okay? Hierarchy in the House of Reps. We're going to be fast with this, okay? Their functions are similar, all right? So we're not going to waste time. So in the what's it called? In the House of Reps, House of Representatives. Okay, we're talking about the lower house now. Okay, we'll look at the upper house. This is the lower house. So we have what the speaker, who is the highest officer. Okay, is one that leads meeting, is one that obviously maintains order. Okay, represents the house in official functions. Okay, so then the speaker, they will now have the deputy speaker. Deputy speaker in the House of Reps. Okay, is one that assists the speaker. Then we have the majority leader too. Majority leader of of the party with the highest number of members. Okay, then we have the minority leader. Okay, leader of the main opposition in the house. They will now have what's it called? The chief whip. We have the chief whip and then the deputy chief whip. Deputy or chief whip. Okay, these ones are the ones that maintain order, okay, in the house. So the deputy chief whip assists the chief whip in the discharge of his duties. Okay, so there are how many members of the House of Representatives? 360 members of the House of Representatives. You must take note of that. It's very, very important. Now let us now see the State House of Assembly. Okay, so in the second tier of government, that is the state, all right, we have also some level. Okay, their functions are almost similar. Okay, it's just that we do not have two chambers in the state. We only have one chamber. Okay, because it is unicameral. Okay, so we have in the State House of Assembly. Okay, so in the State House of Assembly, honorable members. All right, so we have the speaker as the head. Okay, is the head of the State House of Assembly. This is the highest officer. Okay, is the highest officer in the State House of Assembly. Okay, then after him we have deputy speaker. Deputy speaker. All right, then we have majority leader, of course. Okay, we have minority leader. They will now have chief whip. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. This is the hierarchy in the State House of Assembly. The speaker, the deputy speaker, the majority leader, the minority leader, the chief whip. Okay, all definitions. Okay, are actually kept in tandem. All right, all functionalities as we have seen for the Senate. Okay, to work for this also. Then we now have the local government legislative council. All right, so of course in the local government legislative house, all right, we have leader. The highest officer is called the leader of the legislative house. Okay, then after the leader, we now have the deputy leader. Deputy leader of the legislative house. Okay, after the deputy leader, we now have the chief whip. Chief whip. Okay, this one they control the the councillors, okay, they're not behaving well, okay, during procedural meetings. Then after the chief whip, we now have what? The councillors. Okay, so this is what for the third tier, which is the local government. Okay, please take note of that. All right, so in the local government, we have the leader of the legislative house, deputy leader of the legislative house. Okay, you see that they call them leader. Okay, then you have the chief whip and the councillors. Now, we have seen what hierarchy, okay, in what? In the legislative house. Then the next part of our class, which is the last part, is the committee, the committees, okay? Committees in the legislative house. All right, so please ensure you leave everything you are doing, like this video, download the O3 Schools app, okay? Easily pass your exam at once. All right, you have no reason to fail. You have no reason to fail if you have that app, okay? So please, let's get the application. Get the application. Like this video, comment, and subscribe. So let us see committees. Okay, committees in the what? In the legislative house. All right. So what are committees? Okay. So a committee is, or committees rather, they are small group of lawmakers. Okay. There's a small group of what? Of lawmakers. Okay, that are chosen from the larger legislative house. Okay, like the one for the Senate now we have 109 members, maybe 7 or 5. Okay, can be chosen. So a small group of what? Lawmakers from what this larger house are chosen. Okay, to study, to discuss issues. To discuss what issues, okay, or discuss important issues. All right, so that is what a committee is. So a committee is what? A small group of lawmakers chosen from the larger legislative house to study, to discuss, and to handle special issues or what bills. That is what a committee is. Okay, so in the legislative house, in the Senate, we have what? Committee. All right. In the what is it called? In the House of Reps, we have what? Committees. Okay. All of these are to ensure, okay, that what? That the discharge of duties is efficient, okay, or is effective. Okay. Why is a committee important? Division of labor. Division of labor is the breaking down of jobs into what? Smaller what? Parts, okay, and each part is undertaken by an individual. Imagine over 109 members doing the same thing. It will not be effective, okay? So before the general house comes to discuss any particular issue, all right, this select group of what? Members or lawmakers will have discussed, will have investigated the issue, and then they will now bring their report to the house, and then cannot be what? Be deliberated on, okay? Makes it what? Easier than every 109 people going to what? Talk on what? On to go and investigate a particular issue. So that is why a committee is very, very important in the legislative house. Okay, so what do you say a committee is? It's a small group of lawmakers. Say it's a small group of lawmakers chosen from the larger house, to study, to discuss, and deliberate on important issues, or what bills, special issues or bills. Okay, that is what a committee is. All right, so they are very, very important. All right, so what is their role? Their role especially is what? To study bills. Okay, so the main function number 1 is to study bills. Okay, number 2, to investigate issues. Okay, so when an issue is what is before the house, okay, very important issue that's going on. Okay, it's not even before the house, very important issue, okay, that's going on. All right, so before it is deliberated in the house, a select group of lawmakers are selected to go and investigate that issue first, and then they now bring the report to the larger house. Okay, so they also they check ministries. Okay, they report their findings. Okay, and then this what saves what time. Okay, it saves what time. So these are the functions. Now there are 2 main groups of what? Of committees in the legislative house. Okay, number 1, how do I call the standing committee? Standing committee. These are the 2 main groups. So okay, standing committee. Then number 2, We now have what's it called? Ad hoc committee. Okay, this ad hoc is called special or select committee. Okay, they're called special or select committee. Okay, so we have the standing committee, we have the ad hoc committee. These are the two main groups. Okay, we also have others. We have the one we call the joint committee. Joint committee. Okay, then we now have the committee of the whole house. Okay, so these are what the committees, okay, that are found in the legislative house. But the two main groups, okay, are standing committee and ad hoc committee. Take note of that, all right? The two main groups are standing committee and ad hoc committee. Okay, we also have joint committee. Joint committee is really what Nigeria runs a bicameral legislature. Okay, so we have the Senate and the House of Reps. So a committee from the Senate and a committee from the House of Reps, okay, together is what we call the joint committee. Okay, so they come to discuss on issues of interest, like maybe national budget. All right, so let us talk about the standing committee first. But drawing close to the end of class, please ensure you have liked this video, subscribed, and shared. All right, like, subscribe, and share is very, very important. So let's look at the standing committee. Okay, standing committee. All right, so what is a standing committee? Okay, standing committees, they are permanent committees. They exist all the time. Okay, they are always there. Okay, each of these committees, called standing committee, they focus on a particular or specific area of government. Okay, they focus on a particular or specific area of government, like health, like education, okay, like defense, okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so they carry out statutory responsibilities. Okay, so basically what they do is to ensure transparency. Let's say, for example, there's a new law on education. Okay, it is the committee on education that will go and look into it. All right, so they are always once a legislative house begins session, okay, they are set up, and once they are set up, they remain till the end, okay, of that session. Okay, we do not mean like one sitting, okay, the whole session or the whole length of the legislative house. Okay, so once they are set up, they are permanent committees. Okay, they always exist. They exist all the time. Okay, so what do we say standing committees are? We say they are what? They are permanent committees that committees that exist. They exist all the time. Okay, take note that each of this committee, each focuses on a specific area of government. Okay, they focus on a specific area of government. It could be education, it could be health. Okay, it could be it could be defense. All right, so that's what we call a standing committee. All right, and of course they are chosen at the beginning of each legislative session. They are chosen at the beginning of a legislative session. So like the first sitting, they set up committees. They set up what's called standing committees, permanent committees. Okay, examples like we say is committee on education, okay, committee on health, okay, like finance, like agriculture, like defense, like petroleum, like environment. Okay, so these are committees, permanent committees. These are standing committees of the house. Okay, so please take note, each committee focus on a specific area, okay, of government. Now we have the ad hoc committee. Okay, so the ad hoc committees, they are temporal committees. Ad hoc. Number 2, talk about ad hoc committees. ADHOC committees. Okay, this one say that are temporal committees. Okay, they are temporal committees. They are created to handle issues of emergency. Okay, they are created to handle issues of emergency. Gen C. Let's say, for example, there is an oil spill in the Niger Delta, okay? Maybe leading to what? To the death of some people, okay? So they are quickly set up. Quickly. They just, they set up a committee, go and investigate that issue, okay? They'll go investigate it, they now bring their report to the house, okay? Those are what ad hoc committees. They are temporal, they are not permanent. They are not permanent, they are temporal committees, okay? They are set up to undo what? Issues of what? Of emergency, special issues of emergency, okay? And also, they are dissolved. They are dissolved, okay? Once they what? They complete their mission. Okay, let's say there's an oil spill in Niger Delta, like I said. Okay, they have gone, they have investigated, they have brought their findings to the house. Then they are disbanded, they are dissolved immediately. Okay, so that is the ad hoc committee. So, like I said, we also have the joint committee. Okay, so the joint committee, all right, we say it's a joint committee of both what the House of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Okay, so they come together to discuss issues of special interest to the upper house and interest to the lower house. So they come together, they are joint committee. For example, issues of what? Issues of national budget, okay, that affect what? Both houses, okay? Since both houses are going to what? Consider it, they come together, they create a joint committee, and they look into it, okay? So we now have what? Committee of the whole house, like I say, committee of the whole house. So committee of the whole house is talking about what? Committee, okay, it's not as if they are set up. I'm talking about the whole house deliberating on what? On issues, okay? So that what? Each senator, each what member of what, or honorable of House of Representative can be able to contribute what to the issues that they are discussing. Okay, so that is committee of the whole house. They discuss on issues, they debate on issues, so that what everybody can be able to speak what freely, okay, and what talk on what on issues freely. So committee of the whole house. Please take note of this. These are the committees in the what? In the legislative house. Okay, this is where I want to stop. Okay, please ensure you have downloaded the O3 Schools application, you have activated it. Okay, just go to what's it called? Open the app, click on question search, select government. Okay, then search for what? For questions. Okay, you can search for what? Committee as a keyword. You can use committee as a keyword. You can use what? Hierarchy as a keyword. Okay. What did you see discuss again before now? All right. Members of what? Of the legislative house, or search for legislature, or search for legislative house. Okay. You don't use any keyword. Search for questions. Questions will come out. I think we had one or two. Okay, that we have not discussed. So they say this is a 2018 question. Let us quickly look at it. Number 30. It says the standing committee of a legislature is one SA whose members stand while they are deliberating. Is that it? No, we'll not talk about them standing. Okay, we're only saying we call it standing because they are permanent committees. B, they say that has statutory responsibilities. That is very, very correct. That is their function. They have statutory responsibility. Okay, they have a very, very important function, because they are discussing on what? On specific area of what? Of governance, and they have to be transparent while they are discussing what this issue, while they are what? Focusing on what? On these issues like health are not issues to play with. So they have statutory responsibility. C say that perform ad hoc functions. No, they do not perform ad hoc functions because they are not the ad hoc committee. They say that has all legislators as members. No, all legislators cannot be members. Okay, so even if you don't even know what B means before, say if you know that number one, A is wrong, C is wrong, D is wrong, you choose B as the answer. 2018 number 10 says the state legislative 2018 now again number 10. It said the state legislatures of the Second Republic in Nigeria had the following except states. Okay, do state have speaker? Yes, state has speaker. Do state have senate leader? No. Okay, the highest officer is the speaker. C say deputy speaker, they do. D say clerk of the house, they have what? A clerk, definitely. Okay, so correct answer would be option B. All right, because that is the wrong option there. All right, correct answer is B. So please download your app, activate, enjoy answering questions because you have known. All right, my name is Master T. I'll see you in the next class.